Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's great that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on music legend Billy Joel. In particular, his signature tune, which, when you talk about Billy Joel, you think about Piano Man. And we looked at the characters in that bar and how it is that some people just decide it's all just too hard and I'm just not going to try anymore. So if you're in that position right now between, I'm going to keep going and not being committed to anyone, um, think again. Maybe the time is time to settle down, and then you'll find freedom in other and richer ways. So I trust that will be encouragement to you. Well, we go from that Billy to another Billy, and he was born Leslie Sebastian Charles in Trinidad in 1950. And between 1976 and yes, an album coming out in 2020 by the looks of things, he has released 11 albums and he has sold 30 million albums worldwide. So in the scheme of things, relatively successful artist who's been doing this for a long, long time. And of course, the guy we're talking about today is Billy Ocean. Such beautiful, silky voice to him, singing some amazing songs over such a long period of time. This guy has received a few awards. He's received a Billboard Music Award. He's received a Grammy Award. He's received the unavailable Award. He received an honorary doctorate to a US university in 2002. He received a Lifetime Achievement Award through Mobo in 2010, and he became a life member of the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts in 2011. And of course, Liverpool is famous for the Beatles, and it was actually Paul McCartney that inducted him into that life membership. Interestingly, also this year he received an MBE from Queen Elizabeth II, and so he is seen as very much a major contributor in the world of music. So extremely talented, longevity in the industry, and so he needs to have a video of his own today. Now, you can't talk about Billy Ocean without talking about, I think there's probably three signature tunes that this guy has had, that if you go to a Billy Ocean concert, you'll want to hear them. We have 1976, Ooh, Love Really Hurts Without You. That came off his self-titled album in 1976. That's an absolutely classic, rich harmony, full-blown soul number from 1976. The world stood up and took notice of Billy Ocean when he released that song. And then he had a bit of a lull, then a bit of a resurgence in 1984 with the beautiful ballad Suddenly. And that's a song I'm going to talk a little bit more about today in a second. And that came off the album 1984 album of the same name. Certainly that was the song where I met Billy Ocean, and it just really captured me when I heard that song for the first time. And we also got a look at the Jewel of the Nile soundtrack. That was the movie that had Danny DeVito, Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, 1985, and that went to number one in the US. So we can't really talk about Billy Ocean without talking about those three songs, and I'll get onto those clips in a minute. But as I hinted at, I wanted to look at the song Suddenly today as a bit of a commentary. Because the words go, suddenly you're in love. No, this person just comes into your world all of a sudden, overwhelms you, and you weren't in love before, but you're in love now. And it's quite funny how our brains kind of check out a little bit at this point, because this love is such a compelling, overwhelming force that we just have to go with it. And why wouldn't we? Because it's such a beautiful thing when love commences. And I think the thing I love about Billy Ocean and this song is that he's actually been married to his wife Judy since 1978. And so this guy's been with the same woman all this time. And that relationship happened after the Love Really Hurts Without You bit and before suddenly. So I think when he's singing this song, he's thinking about Judy. And they've been together all these years. Well, I just want to go back to this guy in this story. We met him, first of all, in the Billy Field video. Conrad, who was basically a bit of a womanizer, and despite having conversations from his friends, he just wanted to stay that way and whatever happens. And then in the Billy Joel video, even though Conrad's not a character of the Piano Man Bar, I put him in there because he was desperately lonely indeed. He was sharing in that drink called loneliness with the other guys that were there. And so I put Conrad in there. But you know what? We need to give Conrad some love today. So I'm going to continue his story a little bit. Well, there he was, listening to Billy Joel singing Piano Man again. And in walks this girl. And, oh yeah, it's been unusual for a girl to walk in the bar. And he thought, well, instead of just going over to her and trying on what he usually does, he just kind of bides his time and waits. And eventually, there's a bit of a glance between them, and he goes over to her, and they get talking, and they just talk about anything and everything. And he's not interested in making her a prospect. He just wants to get to know her. This is something different for him. He doesn't normally do this, but he's finding himself doing this now. This girl is beautiful, and she's so engaging in conversation, and she seems to be really appreciating being around. Well, anyway, he doesn't do his normal move and ask her to go home with him. He just says, well, I'll tell you what, I'd love to go out to dinner with you at some point. Can I have your phone number? And sure enough, she hands over the phone number. And so in a day or so, he gives her a call, and she said, yes, I'd love to go out for dinner. And so that Friday night, they go out for dinner, they have a lovely night, and they end up holding hands by the end of the night. Conrad can't believe it. He's not interested in this woman being a prospect. And over time, he starts to realise that there's some feelings within him that he's never felt before, and he knows, and he just realises that he's in love. And it's such a beautiful, wonderful experience. Anyway, over the course of the next 1 or 2 years, they just gradually get to know each other a bit more. And one day he pops the question, and she says, yes, Conrad, I'd love to marry you. Conrad had decided back in that bar that instead of seeing the woman as a prospect, he saw her just as we'll see what happens. And sure enough, 2 years later, he's got a beautiful woman as his wife. And she's got a guy that's been transformed by love. This is what love does. No, he walked into the bar not in love, not even contemplating love, and he left the bar seeing love as a possibility, and it's certainly growing into something fantastic. This is what Billy Ocean is talking about here. In fact, in the official clip, which you can look up if you like, there's the classic scene of the guy and the girl holding hands walking on the beach. To me, that's the epitome of love, comfort. Water crashing on the waves, beautiful sunset, maybe dinner beforehand, all that sort of stuff. So what love is spending that special time, those special moments with other people. And if it is love, love will deepen and love will grow into something quite amazing. It doesn't always stay in that kind of, fever pitch sort of stuff. It does mellow out into something that's deeper and richer. And certainly my hope for Conrad and his wife is that that will be their experience going forward. So if you're in a situation right now where you've kind of met a girl and a girl who's met a guy and you sort of moving past the whole conquest thing into perhaps it could be something a bit more than that. Well, this is the opportunity for you to explore that and to see where it goes. And maybe like Conrad, you may find happiness in a deep relationship, which I'm sure is what we all want. And certainly for Billy, who's been married to Judy since 1978, and they've got some kids, certainly that is their experience. And it's a real testament to a music industry which often is not very helpful or kind to relationships. To see these two guys still together is incredible indeed. So love is worth it, guys. It really is. Love is not a conquest. Love is not turning someone into a have to have. Love is a connection at the deepest level with someone else. And why wouldn't we want to do that? It's a beautiful thing indeed. Well, I trust that will be an encouragement for you today as we think further about this concept of love. And I think the issue is there are so many songs about love that, yes, we may talk about love a fair few times in these videos. You probably notice that one of the things I do say is that love is such an overwhelming and compelling force. Even when that person may not be there any longer, you still love them irrespective of that, because you can't turn love off. So I trust that will be an encouragement for you. Well, on to the clips today. We do have now the awesome classic song, Love Really Hurts Without You. This is a live version of this song, and it was taken from 2016 Ladies of Soul concert. So have a look at that one. We've also got, we do have to have Suddenly, and this is a beautiful laid-back acoustic version of this particular song. And you just see how incredible Billy Ocean's vocals actually are. There's no processing here. It is just Billy and a guy on a guitar, and you just get to see how amazing his singing voice actually is. I could have gone for the official clip on that one, but I really wanted to capture his vocals in a really vulnerable and raw way, and Billy Ocean absolutely delivers in this performance of Suddenly. And then we also need to have The Going Gets Tough and The Tough Get Going. This is the official clip. This is Billy Ocean probably in his, absolute worldwide fame moments. He got to sing one of these songs of the 1980s for one of the movies of the 1980s. And it's great to see the three actors of that movie, Danny DeVito, who gets a bit carried away on the saxophone, Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas doing the whole backup singer thing with them. So enjoy that clip as well today. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for staying with me. If you have got to the end of this video, fantastic, well done indeed. And I look forward to catching up with you next time when we're going to look at the full-blown rockers Blink 182. So until then, I'll catch you around.